Today, we're going to dig into something pretty wild. One of the world's biggest companies is giving nearly 800,000 of its employees a brand new and honestly a very unusual job title. And believe me, this story tells us a lot about where the future of work is headed.
So, let's just kick things off with a simple question. What's in a job title anyway? I mean, really think about it. Is it just a label, something to put on your LinkedIn? Or is it something more? Maybe a motivator? Or maybe just a bunch of corporate jargon?
Okay, I want you to get this number in your head, 791,000. That's how many people work for the global consulting giant Accenture. I mean, that's not a company, that's practically a city.
And now, Accenture has a brand new name for every single one of them. It doesn't matter if you just started yesterday or you're a senior partner. From now on, you're a Reinventor.
Okay, so Reinventor. Where did that even come from? Is this just some slick marketing talk, or is there something bigger, something deeper going on with the company's direction? Well, the official story is that it came out of a big internal shakeup back in June. They took a bunch of their divisions, like strategy, tech, consulting, you name it, and kind of smashed them all together into one giant unit. And the name of that unit? Reinvention Services. So, it kind of makes sense that the people working there would be called Reinventors.
But let's be real. This isn't just about a new department name. This whole thing, this reinvention, is a really high-stakes gamble. And it's all being driven by one of the most powerful forces in business today, artificial intelligence.
Yeah, Accenture is going all in. They are betting the house on AI being the future. They're pouring resources into training literally everyone on generative AI. This is a huge pivot for them. They don't just want to be part of the AI revolution, they want to lead it. But here's where it gets intense. This whole reinvention thing comes with a pretty stark warning from the CEO, Julie Sweet. She basically told investors, flat out, that adapting is not optional. This isn't like, hey, it'd be great if you learned some new stuff. No, this is, do this or you're out.
And they're not kidding around. That warning has real teeth. 11,000. That's how many people lost their jobs in a recent restructure that was directly tied to this big shift. So for the company, it's reinvention. But for thousands of people, it was displacement.
Now, you might be thinking this is all a bit weird, but Accenture is definitely not the first company to give its employees a special nickname. This is actually part of a much bigger trend we're seeing in the corporate world.
I mean, think about it, right? Disney has its legendary Imagineers, the people who dream up all the magic. You go into an Apple store and you're helped by a genius. Even that creative agency, Media Monks, calls their employees monks. It's everywhere.
And the corporate world is full of this stuff. You've got your tech ninjas, your growth hackers, your brand evangelists. There's even an ad agency called Mother that calls its project execs mothers. It's all about trying to build this unique tribe, this special culture.
So the big question is branding nearly 800,000 people reinventors a stroke of genius or a massive branding fail? Well, let's just say the experts are raising an eyebrow.
And you kind of have to remember, Accenture's done this sort of thing before. A couple years back, they renamed their ad agency Accenture Song, and yeah, the industry pretty much laughed at it. So they don't exactly have a perfect track record here.
One marketing expert, Damon Collins, didn't hold back at all. He basically called it corporate panic and said the staff are just going to cringe. He thinks it's a total lose-lose. Nobody, not employees or clients, is going to like it.
And another brand expert, Gonzalo Brujo, pointed out a really big problem. Calling everyone a reinventor is a lot. It's not like an Apple genius who has a very specific technical job. Reinventor is this huge, grand title. If everyone's a reinventor, does the word even mean anything anymore? It might just devalue the whole idea.
So the risks here are actually pretty huge. You could get a ton of confusion inside the company, like what's my career path now? You could totally burn out the very employees you're trying to fire up, and you might just annoy your clients who don't want to deal with a bunch of corporate jargon. And of course, you could end up as a punchline. Okay, so let's step back for a second. Why are we even talking about this? Why does one company changing a job title matter so much to the rest of us?
Because really, this isn't just a story about Accenture. It's a huge signal about what's happening to work everywhere. It's about how every single company out there is scrambling to figure out what to do about AI. What this whole thing shows us is, first, the insane pressure on companies to look like they're ahead of the curve. And second, it shows how the deal between you and your boss is changing. The new rule is keep learning, keep changing, keep reinventing yourself, or you might not have a job for long.
And that kind of leaves us with one last big thought. It doesn't matter if you work at Accenture or not.
Maybe this is a title we all have to get used to. In this new world of AI and constant change, maybe being a reinventor isn't just corporate speak anymore. Maybe it's just what it takes to survive.